Hi, this is Jack Godfrey, and this is Beginner Qigong. Today, a little bit different format. We're going to cover the 8 pieces of brocade later on, and if we still have time, we'll be getting into the healing sounds for spring. But first of all, I want to tell you about a call I had. My daughter works in a senior's home, and so she's on the front desk. I tease her by calling her the concierge. She's the receptionist, so she gets to greet people at the door and tell them they can't come in. She also deals with any issues that the seniors come up with. So she's in contact with a lot of people. Now, she called because she was extremely stressed about her job, as you would imagine in this time with the pandemic going on. And I told her a couple things, and I'll be demonstrating them here as well, that she could do to help manage that stress. And so the first thing we talked about is the effect that stress has on the body. So with the stress, you end up with rapid breathing, accelerated heart rate. You're always thinking about what could go wrong. And so this just, again, develops even more stress in the body. And what happens is you get stress hormones, cortisol, among other things, going through the body. And the blood moves from the organs to the extremities and, feeds the muscles and gets the body ready for fight or flight. And that's part of what stress is all about. And it reduces your immune system as well, because the body is more, it's got to run away. And so one of the things we talked about to help deal with that is deep breathing. So that's when you want to use your whole lungs. Most of us, and myself included, when we're sitting around, relaxing, just doing whatever, hopefully not watching TV, I know all of the stuff that's going on about the pandemic, because that's just going to produce more stress. But anyway, the breath. When we are normally breathing, we're breathing in this part of our lungs. We're just up here. We're in the very top of the lungs. And so it's a shallow breath, and the bottom of the lungs is not getting used that much at all. And so what you do with the deep breathing is you breathe in for a count of 4. So you want to fill the lungs all the way to the bottom. And then you breathe out for a count of 4 as well. Longer if necessary to get all of the breath out. Now what this does, what this deep breathing does for you and your body, is it tells your mind and your body that we're no longer in fight or flight. If I'm breathing deep and I'm focusing on that, I'm able to switch the body over into that other state, which we don't hear the name of that often, but it's rest, restore, digest, rebuild. It's that sort of state. It's in ancient times, prehistoric times, you were either running from the dragons, the tigers, or you were harvesting berries and vegetables and sitting down and eating and relaxing. So there's your 2 predominant states here. So what we need to do is switch the body over to the rest and restore so that the body can relax and recover and build up the immune system. So that's the first thing we talked about, so I'll be demonstrating that in a moment. Then the second thing we talked about is how you can use a physical movement in combination with the breath to help refresh the body as well. And so now let's get into the deep breathing. Now it helps if you have something to help you breathe in for a count of 4. In the background, I have a clock that ticks, and I'm able to count that for 4, and then count for 4 on the way out. What I'm going to do as part of this video on YouTube is I'm going to supply a link to a piece of music that I got from the organization that I work with, the Zen Wellness folks, and it's called the Temple Block and Chime. And so it has a tap every second, and on the 4th second there's a chime. So you can breathe in for 4, you can breathe out for 4 quite easily. Now, so there's 2 benefits to breathing in deeply and breathing out, is it helps to oxygenate the blood. But when you listen and you focus on getting the count of 4, you've also got your mind focused on what's going on, and you can't think about the things that are causing you stress, and this gives your mind a chance to relax as well. So let's work on a couple of breaths so that you get an idea for how it works. So you go inhale, you breathe in through the nose, and then exhale. Now some people have found that when they exhale, and you breathe in through the nose and you breathe out through the nose, and you may find that you have to take longer on the exhale. That's fine. You can be a little more forceful on the exhale as you push the breath out. So I'm going to do 5 cycles here. One more breath. So you breathe in. And so you breathe in for 4, you breathe out for 4. You're using the entire depth of your lungs all the way down to the bottom. And so you want to fill the lungs up, but you don't want to fill it as if you're going to burst. So in that regards, I'm also putting a link in the video description down below to an article I wrote. It was specifically on box breathing, which is a variation of deep breathing, which will talk about the problems that you can run into as you're breathing in, breathing out, and how to deal with those. So we'll leave that detail for your own review. Now, we'll talk about the next thing you can do to help deal with stress and help the body recover from stress and boost the immune system a little bit. And this is called standing on a boat. So for standing on a boat, we're here, and you want to have the feet, once again, that comfortably hip-width apart. And we're into the small triangle and the large triangle. So the small triangle, you come forward, and the large triangle, you drift back. So small triangle, front of the foot, big toe, little toe, ball joint. Large triangle, big toe, little toe, heel. And you shift this weight while keeping the feet flat to the floor. Now, and what's going on here? As you come forward, your calf muscles engage. And as you drift back, they relax. And so this small movement is helping to push the blood up out of the legs and back into the torso. It's also helping, because we do this at that same count of 4, helps us with calming the body and getting the lymph fluid to move up into the torso. So now we add the arms to this as well. So on the inhale, you lift the arms up about shoulder height. And on the exhale, you let the arms come down. So on the inhale, we have a dragon's back here. You lift the ribs, lift the tailbone, lift the chin, lift the gaze. And then on the exhale, you drop the chin, you drop the gaze, you drop the arms, you drop the ribs, we look down. So we have a dragon's back as we come forward. We have a turtle back as we come back. So it's inhale, we lift the arms up, and exhale, we lower the arms down. So inhale, we're on the small triangle. Exhale, we're on the large triangle. So you want to do this for a count of 4 as well. So now we've added a physical movement here, and the benefit of the physical movement is we're actually getting the qi, the blood, the lymph fluid moving throughout the body and bringing it up into the torso so that we can actually exhale Exhale that cellular waste. That, the cells do their thing and they get rid of the trash, and it goes into the lymphatic fluid. And the movement of the body actually gets this fluid, the lymphatic fluid, to move up into the torso. And we exhale that waste through the lungs. So we'll do a couple more movements here. So it's inhale, exhale. And there we go. And I'll also put a link in the description about the standing on a boat as well. And so there you go. There are going to be 3 attachments in there. The deep breathing details that you can look at from a blog post I did a while ago. The music that you can use to time that movement. And as well the detail on how to do standing on a boat, which is part of the Golden Chi Ball series, which is what I've been covering on the Monday videos that have been coming up. So Golden Chi Ball on on Wednesday, and today the 8 pieces of brocade. So now we're going to move into our class. So we're just going to be doing the 8 pieces of brocade today because of the chat we've had about managing stress. And so first of all, we will pull down the heavens. So this is another example where you do that slow, deep breathing. So inhale here. And then exhale over here. All right, so we start with double hands hold up the heavens. So once again, we're here with our feet comfortably hip-width apart. And we begin with, double hands hold up the heavens. So you take your hands, you interlace the fingers, and you push away. And you bring them up over the head as best as your shoulders will let you. And ideally, you'd like them right over the head, but if your shoulders won't let you and you're out here, that's excellent as well. So it's inhale here, and exhale, we lift the heels, we push up. Inhale, we push to the side. Inhale, we're here. Exhale. Inhale, we push to the opposite side. So inhaling, exhale. So when you go to the side, you want to make sure that you visualize the torso sliding down a wall. You want to keep the shoulders one above the other as we move from side to side here. Now we'll do one more cycle. And we'll let the arms come down. So the next one in the series is King removes his helmet. So bring this hand around the back of the hand to the kidney. So you're resting against the body here, just below the ribs and off to the sides. This is roughly where the kidney is at, and that's where we want to have the hand. The other arm comes up and reaches for the ear. So you turn your head and you look over the shoulder to that arm that's behind the back. You reach around, reach for the ear, pull the elbow back, turn the head, inhale here, you look down, so we're stretching the side of the body, and exhale, we look up. And then we turn to the opposite side. Inhale, we look down, exhale, we look up. And we come around. round. Inhale. So the arms rotate, we look down. And we'll do 2 more, 1 on each side. And last cycle. Last side. And we come on down. Now the next one in the sequence is divide heaven and earth. And in some of the research I've been doing on doing Qigong, both online and in books, I've come across various names for this particular movement. It's all the basic, still the same basic arm movement, but so it's called As the World Turns, a popular soap opera. I'm not sure if it's still on, but when I was growing up it was. So you turn the world over. So this is As the World Turns. And another name for it was Scholar Opens the Scroll. So the hand movements to begin with in the middle were a little different, but it was still the same basic movement. So divide heaven and earth. So we're holding a chi ball here around about the navel. You turn the ball over. Push down with the bottom hand, fingers point forward. Push up with the top hand, fingers point across the body. You push down with the wrists, you push up with the wrist. You look to the upper hand, and you're looking for a stretch all the way from the wrist down to the heel. So it's exhale here. Inhale, we hold, we turn, and exhale, we push up, we push down. Inhale here, we shift the weight to the leg that's got the arm down, and we look up. Inhale. Exhale. So it's inhale, we hold the ball, we turn the ball over. Exhale, we push up, we push down. And we'll do once more on each side. Starting here on this side. And we come on down. So the next one we're doing is called Gather the Sun to Press the Earth. So for this one, we gather the chi from the heavens. You draw it in to the kidneys. We lift, we stretch the front of the body. And then exhale, we fold forward the dragon's back. So chin lifted, tailbone lifted, belly button pulled in. As we come down the back of the legs along the little toe sides of the feet. Then we tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, stretching the spine, coming up a vertebrae at a time on the inside of the legs. Circle the abdomen, come just under the ribs, and we drop the chi in to the brass basin. Brass basin, but roughly around about the navel and down to the tailbone, down to the Hoyin, the root of the body. So it's inhale, we gather the chi. The dragon's back. And then exhale, we fold forward with that dragon's back. And a turtle back. We come up with a rounded spine. And exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. So inhale, we gather the chi. So inhaling. Exhale. And you want to attempt to do all of these movements, so the breath for that count of 4 as well. And we'll do one more of these. All right. And the next one is divide. No, we just did that one. It is pull bow, shoot arrow. So this one is, we're in horse riding stance. So there are many ways to get there. One of them is to step out to the side into that stacking of the bone stance. So shoulder, ribs, hip, knee bent, all in a stack. This leg straight, this one with the knee bent. And then we come over here and do the same thing. So shoulder, ribs, hip, ankle, all in a pile. This knee bent, this leg straight. And so we come to the center here. So this is the stacking of the bones setup. And now from here, you turn your feet out and then bring the heels out behind that. And so this is horse riding stance. Your shoulders fitting inside your feet with the feet parallel. Now, if you find this bothers your knees, your ankles, your hips, you adjust the stance narrower or wider as required to keep the body comfortable. Now, horse riding stance, the knees come forward and the shoulders, you want to keep the shoulders as much as possible over the hips. So as we lower down, you don't bend forward. You visualize sliding down a wall as the knees come forward. So this is horse riding stance. So the first movement, we have 3 movements that we do in this with this stance, and the first one is pull bow, shoot arrow. So inhale, we come up. Exhale, the hands come down, we sink down. You hold the bow, pull the bowstring in, pull the elbow back, and then exhale, we release. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, we come down. And then we pull the bowstring back. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more cycle. One more side. And there we are, horse riding stance, pull bow, shoot arrow. So the next one is cat gazes at the moon. And so for this one, we're still in horse riding stance. We move over, bring the hands just above the knees. And we have a dragon's back here. So lift the ribs, lift the chin, look to the distance. And then a turtle back. We tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, round the back. We look down to the earth. So inhale, we lift the gaze, lift the tailbone. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, lower the gaze. So this is sort of getting the back set up. So we start here in dragon's back. So cat gazes at the moon, drop the shoulder, turn the head, and look to the heavens directly above. We're getting a big twist in the spine here. So it's inhale here, and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So inhale, we're looking to the earth. Exhale, we drop the shoulder, turn the head, big twist in the spine as we look to the heavens. Inhale here, and exhale, we go to the opposite side, twisting the spine. So we'll do once more on each side. Inhale. Inhale. Come back to the center, and we come on up. So next one is called King Rides His Horse with Fiery Eyes. So in this one, we're still in horse stance. But now the king, he's riding his horse, and the fiery eyes bits as he's staring off into the distance. His castle is under attack out there somewhere. And so he's riding his horse. He's holding the horse's manes. And he's gazing over the second knuckle into the distance. The other hand is resting here, above the hip, up by the ribs, somewhere in this area here. And of course, the horse is galloping, running off into the distance. And so we're going up and down here. But at the same time, this hand comes across the bottom of the ribs. So the whole arm presses the body here, comes up to the elbow, up to the wrist. The hands turn over. We come back to the elbow, come across the body. And so that's the arm movement, but we also have the horse movement going on as well. So we come here, and exhale, we sink down. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, we lower down. So the hands just rotate in place, so the gaze continues to be off into the distance, over the second knuckle of whichever hand is out in front. So it's inhale, exhale, Inhale. Exhale. And we'll do one more cycle, starting here. And that's King rides his body with fiery eyes. Now we bring the feet back together for the last movement in the 8 pieces of brocade. So we're back in our narrow stance here. Excuse me. And this one is King shakes his body. So for this one, you warm up the hands. Get some chi to the surface here. Bring the wrists just below the kidneys. So we've been here before. Ribs are here, right against the kidneys, fingers pointing down. And now, King shakes his body. We lift the heels and we drop 3 times. Keep the tongue out of the way of your teeth. And we go again. So the whole idea of this is to break up the adhesions between the muscles, between each other of the muscles, between the muscles and the bones, and the skin and the muscles as well. Once more. All right. And that's actually the last movement in the 8 pieces of brocade, also known as the 3 hearts, 9 gates. So we'll pull down the heavens 3 times to mark the end of the series. And now we're going to move directly into the close because of the talk that we had about managing your stress at the beginning. And we're going to be doing the 5 directions for a couple iterations. So if you recall from previous videos, from previous classes, the 5 directions are forward, backwards, to the one side, to the left side, to the right side, and to the center. But you also need to be in that stacking of the bone stance. So you want the feet wider here because we are going to be moving from side to side. So this is done to a count of 4 as well. So breathe in for 4 and breathe out for 4. And we're also shifting our weight into our toes and into our heels and from side to side. So here we go. Now this one is done for an exhale of 8. So watch the hands. Inhale. Exhale, we still watch the hands. Inhale, you watch the hand come up from the side and down to the hip. Inhale, you watch the hand come up on the other side and down to the hip. And now to the center, so watch both hands. And then exhale. Count of 4 to about the chin, the throat, the upper chest, and then a count of 4 down to the hoi yin. So inhale, forward. Exhale, backward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale. And exhale. Last cycle. And that's the class for today. So thank you all for coming, folks. Remember, breathe deep, use some music, focus your mind on your breath, help to manage stress, keep your body healthy.